Hello, Internet. My name is Chamomile.
And I'm Mecha Requiem.
So is this Mecha Requiem in the sense of, like, you've been cybernetically enhanced? Or is
Yeah.
this... Okay, so you're not just, like, a Mecha Godzilla-style robotic replacement.
No, I've got robot teeth now.
So you went to the dentist.
Is that what they're calling them nowadays?
I mean... I'm pretty sure the dentist has always been where you get your LSD.
Look at the size of that ship.
The Ascension.
That's no
Flagship
moon.
of the Citadel fleet.
Well, size isn't everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side then.
So do we want to, since they're looking at the Asari ship, do we want to talk about the Asari, or do we want to wait till we actually Asari?
Yeah, let's wait until we get to Liara, I think her name is. I can't remember any fucking names.
Roger, Alliance.
The only name I can remember
Liara.
is Shepard, and that's because it's a word.
Shepard.
Rex.
Shepard.
Well, I'll be going then. I really like the idea of the Citadel. I don't think they ever did a really good job of, like, really communicating
Is an outrage.
just how massive it is.
Council would step in if the Geth attacked a Turian colony.
The Turians don't
Like, it really could have used a scene where it just shows you a cityscape and then zooms out from that cityscape
What about Sarah?
until it disappears into, you know, the little mass of
Action.
tiny little yellow dots
Yeah.
that makes up one of the arms. Because, like, it took me a long time to realize, oh, those aren't like windows on the side of a space station. Those are city lights. And that was really cool. But, like,
Captain Anderson, I see you brought half your crew. with
it took me like half the game to make that connection.
In case you have any questions.
you. I have the mission reports. I assume they're accurate.
They are. Sounds like you convinced the council to give us an audience.
They were not.
There's something weird with Anderson's hands
Sarah
there.
is
He's
their
just
target.
constantly bathed in
I
red
don't
light.
like him being accused of treason.
Saren's a threat to every human colony out there. If they don't stop him, I will.
That's not the option I chose at all.
You've already done more than enough to jeopardize your candidacy for the
Which is,
Spectres.
I really dislike the
Time was a chance to prove
dialogue
you could get
wheel
the
with
job
its
done.
really
Instead,
abbreviated
Morales
options.
ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
Yeah, it's always been a problem.
Then we better hope the CSEC investigation turns up evidence to support our accusations. Otherwise, the Council might use this as an excuse to keep you out of the Spectres. Come with me, Captain. I want to go over a few things before the hearing. Shepard, you and the others can meet us at the Citadel Tower, top level.
Does it look like Anderson is wearing some weird gloves?
To get in.
And that's why I hate politicians.
I love these elephant guys.
I love the whole stating the emotion beforehand. You run into one who is, at one point you run into one who has altered his translator so he can fake what his emotions are.
You seem distressed. Is there something I can do to help?
Alarmed response.
I love how, like, they're just a constant monotone.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, alarmed response.
What did this Asari do to get you so upset?
I cannot
cannot speak more about this problem. It is too sensitive. Suffice it to
Reminds me a
say,
little bit of HK-47.
compromised my authority as a diplomat.
But it's a different thing.
Good luck with your problem.
Yep.
Thanks to you, human. Good day.
HK-47 did influence Ferrum a little bit. They're both ruthless killbots.
Chastising remark. Don't be so rude, Dan. At least introduce yourself.
By the way, I got this Ansible, and I've been talking to Judge Hoot Hoot.
Volus Ambassador, is there something I can do for
So,
the Earth Clan?
I'm just going to take a guess this conversation ends with me making a mental note to orbitally bombard Arkansas before we touch down. I assume they've got turbo lasers on this thing somewhere.
Yeah, well, he says, like, you're outside the jurisdiction. That doesn't mean, like, it's still binding. Like,
You are new to the Citadel, and yet the Council has granted you great favor.
like, Cam, name 300 ways that Zeke and Shane are similar.
Species has always been granted many
No.
concessions. Volus territory.
Because you
would
can't,
just be the
because
rest of
they're-
the episode.
You can't because they're very different, is what you're saying.
Details. We still have no real say in the decisions that affect Citadel space.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
Yes, yes. Good day, Earth Clan.
I don't hear you disagreeing.
I mean, I kind of feel like the ridiculousness of your... God damn it. Of your request made it, immediately evident that only a request for proof so obviously onerous as to be impractical, no matter how abundantly available evidence was, could possibly, actually fail to be met.
Regardless, you're still under the restraining order.
I mean, I'm not, though, on a ground that, Judge Hoot Hoot can wish to enforce whatever he wanted. We're in space. I have no idea where we're going. I know we're supposed to go to the council chamber at some point, so...
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Commander Shepard?
Why, hello there, Batman.
I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
Come across anything I should know about?
Saren's a Spectre. Most of his activities are classified. I couldn't find anything solid. But I know he's up to something.
But did you find liquid or gas?
I feel it in my gut.
I think the council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you.
Ah, so Garrus has found no evidence of wrongdoing, but he's got a feeling in his gut. Sounds legit. Let's convict him based on that.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
The Geth attack is a matter of some
One thing you get a lot of in Mass Effect 1 and not so much in other Mass Effect games, there's a lot of focus on very strange alien races, alien species.
It kind of got worse as that as time went by, though. Like, starting with the Batarians, like they start getting excessively human. And
Yeah.
apparently, they said for Mass Effect Andromeda, there was an order from BioWare that they had to keep everything relatively human so people would be able to cosplay as it easily, which I don't think was a good choice. Like,
So from BioWare, do you mean from EA or?
I think it was from BioWare because Andromeda was not made by the BioWare main company; it was made by a spin-off company.
Ah.
And I think you get like the Asari were already like not great. Like, it doesn't make sense they're that humanoid, but like everything else is like pretty good. Like, could be weirder, but like pretty good. But then it's like the Batarians are basically people in mass, and that continues to be an issue with some of the later aliens in Andromeda. It's very, very frustrating. Like, I get you are kind of stuck with the basic humanoid frame, like for cost efficiency purposes, you have to make everything basically that bipedal frame. Like,
Anything
that's
a party
fine,
member.
but like
A party member at least, yeah.
like the Batarians were. Sorry, are really annoying because like why do they look? They're just humans with like blue skin and weird hair, and they all are hot women for some reason. Like, at one point they tried to make it seem like, oh, they're using psionics to make themselves look attractive. It's like, all right, well then why don't some of them look like men? Like,
I mean, if they're using psionics to make themselves look attractive, then they should look different to different people, which would be very interesting, but it also means they would have to make some assumptions about who you're attracted to by the time you first meet an Asari.
they insinuate that because there's this one scene where there's two, like I think a Turian and a Solarian are talking. They're like, "Oh, Asari look like Turian," and everyone's like, "No, they look like Solarians." That doesn't make sense. Like, it would raise a lot of. There'd be like physical evidence of something going on. Like, how does this work on photos? Like, if I take a photo of an Asari, there can't be like psionics attached to the photo. There's like actual like tactile stuff. Like, Turians, humans, and Solarians have like tactilely different bodies. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, they're there to appeal to the heterosexual male gaze. That's why they look like that.
Yeah, nah, they are the sexy space elves, which are a sort of stock sci-fi alien race, except, you know, I mean, there's no consistent lore or anything attached to them, except that they generally tend to be some kind of, you know, broadly benevolent space utopia kind of thing. And also, yeah, they're sexy space women with usually a weird color of skin.
Tell me about this history between you and Saren.
I worked with him on a mission a long time ago. Things went bad.
Like, the Betazades kind of fall into that. They aren't even blue.
But I know what he's like. And he has to be stopped.
But yeah, Star Trek's Betazades are a race. I don't think they're supposed to strictly be all female, but like every major Betazade we meet is female. They have their weddings nude for some reason.
We need to deal with Saren ourselves.
As a Spectre?
Are those the empathy ones?
Yes.
We need to find some way to
Originally, in the Next Generation, Roddenberry wanted them to have 3 boobs.
Oh my god. Thank God someone stopped him. That would have been like the absolute. That feels like a parody of Forehead Aliens. It's a rubber forehead alien where the forehead is a third boob.
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with him.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
I'll take care of it.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
But,
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the woods.
I thought you said he was a drunken loser.
Couldn't hurt to go talk to him. Just be careful. I wouldn't call him reliable.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
Yeah, broadly, the alien species of Mass Effect are pretty good. The Volus and the... I can never remember the name, but the elephant guys. Are some of my favorites. It's weird, the elephant guys are probably my favorite species from the Mass Effect setting, and I can't remember their actual name. So this is an idea that they had in Mass Effect. They don't seem to be doing it right. Where's the down button? Here we go. But yeah, they use the elevators in place of the loading screens.
Which they then got rid of for the later Mass Effects, which I never understood.
I mean, I think people noticed the elevators in the way they wouldn't notice a loading screen, because loading screens are so omnipresent that when one pops up, you just kind of accept it as the way of things. Whereas the elevator conversations were a better idea, but I think just because they were noticeable and because ultimately it's still, yeah, hang out doing nothing. Like, they're better than nothing. I just think they drew attention to themselves.
Do you desire to learn of the Enkindlers? Or has the Honorable CSEC officer enlisted assistance?
What's going on here?
The CSEC officer...
I'm poking around for side quests. Do you have any XP to give me?
...permit to spread the truth of the Enkindlers.
Let me talk to the CSEC officer. Perhaps I can explain the situation.
This one would be most grateful.
That Hanar refuses to listen to reason. Why can't it act in an orderly and lawful manner?
Are there laws being broken here?
I am not unreasonable. The Hanar is free to spew its nonsense once it purchases an evangelical permit.
So if the Hanar gets a permit, it's allowed to preach?
No. Registered evangelicals must follow regulations. There are specific areas where preaching is legal.
Why do you have to buy a permit?
Results in
Like,
the forfeiture of the license.
Broadly speaking, you know, having regulations on evangelism makes some amount of sense,
What's the
but
behind the evangelical permits?
why do you have to pay for one?
Religious evangelicals to register for a permit weeds out undesirables. It keeps the area safe. The Citadel is too important.
Like, honestly, the religions that can afford to supply their preachers with permits seem like they probably are the undesirables for the most part.
If you'd like, I could talk to the Hanar for you.
I have argued with the stubborn jelly all after.
Has the CSEC officer been assuaged?
Is this really how you want to represent the Enkindlers?
The truth of the Enkindlers must be made known. They gave the Hanar language, and gave the universe the mass relays. This one only wishes to spread the truth to any who will listen. There is no intent to cause trouble.
Whatever.
What if I purchase the evangelical permit for you?
I think if we already talked about the... I know we talked about the problem with the
This one
Paragate
does
system.
not believe that one should
Yeah.
lie in order to speak the truth.
About how, yeah, having a character with nuance is
This one
specifically
also
discouraged.
does not possess the 150 credits necessary to purchase the permit.
150 credits. This should cover you.
This is a most appreciated action. You are not of the Hanar, but you wish to help spread the truth of the Enkindlers.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm just resolving a side quest
This
here.
one will not cause any further trouble for the CSEC officer. This one offers its thanks.
I don't recall money being all that important anyway.
The first time I played through, I did not bother upgrading my weapons or armor until like the very end, and like the difficulty drop that happened when I finally broke down and did was so noticeable.
Speak to Harkin in the lower wards. I need a taxi. So yeah, this episode is just going to be wandering around blindly.
Riveting, I'm sure.
Yeah. I cannot remember where anything is. Where are the wards? Well, there's the financial district. I just need a goddamn taxi. I know there's a taxi destination near where I need to go. I can't remember where to find the actual taxi. Ah, here's one.
That's her.
So I have the option there to just pull a gun out and start murdering these guys for no reason. They recognized me. Open fire! Like, you know, from a purely out of character perspective, I know that these guys are labeled assassin and are therefore trying to kill me, but there's actually several seconds between when combat is triggered and when they take their first hostile action. How do we know those were Saren's men? Do we have their faces memorized?
I mean, who else would be trying to assassinate you?
I mean, that is fair. But, like, are they his men or are they his mercs? Like, did he just hire them specifically to kill me?
What are you waiting for? I'm standing right here. This is Fist's only chance.
The Krogans, I think, are the best take on the general Klingon space of, you know, a very militant alien species.
The proud warrior race.
Right.
Who knows? Let's just try not to get caught in the middle.
I'm not generally a big fan of that kind of species, but I like the Krogan.
I gotta say, that soldier getup looks real good on that body of yours.
I mean, I'm wearing actual armor, though.
Sweep the last downside, old Harkin. Have a drink. See where this goes.
I guess my armor does have boobs on it for some reason.
Maybe later.
Suit yourself, princess. You know, if more Marines look like you, I might have joined the Alliance instead of CSEC.
Harkin, right? I was told you could help me find someone.
I find it kind of hilarious that, you know, BioWare is depicting this sort of this grody, creepy old man, you know, just kind of very directly critiquing his objectification and such. And then they go on to write Mass Effect 2, co-starring Miranda's ass.
Didn't know that, did you? It was all very hush-hush. The first human ever given that honor, and then he blew it. Screwed up his mission so bad they kicked him out. Of course, he blames Saren. Says the Turians set him up.
You said they covered all this up. How'd you hear about it?
I spent 20 years working cases here on the Citadel. People on this station love to talk. Secrets are like herpes. You got 'em, might as well spread 'em around.
Why'd they kick him out?
Have to ask him. I never heard any of the details. But it's a good story, Zoe. The heroes fall. Classic tragedy.
Just tell me where Garrus went.
Garrus was sniffing around Dr. Michelle's office. She runs the med clinic on the other side of the wards. Must have heard he was going back there.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, good. Go.
Ever for the remastered edition, they are going to try to tone down the Miranda's ass as much as they can.
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard, given the extent of remastering they're already doing. All they need to do is, you know, point the camera somewhere else.
Captain Anderson tell us he used to be a Spectre.
I mean, it is at least nice that at some point BioWare noticed the problem, but...
Hello there. Welcome to Moorland's famous shop. You want many good supplies, yes?
Let me see what you have.
Oh, you will be pleased, I think. Very good things I have. You will see.
This is my item viewing expression. Yeah, this stuff is mostly way out of my price range, so... Michelle's office, but where is that? Med clinic. Alrighty then.
I didn't tell anyone, I swear.
That was smart, Doc. Now, if Garrus comes around, you stay smart. Keep your mouth shut. Who are you?
What if I come around? Is she allowed to talk to me? Ah, god damn it, Garrus. Now she has to stay smart. So Mass Effect is an RPG, and, you know, it's got RPG mechanics in it. That's fair. It is, however, kind of hilarious that I can shoot a guy 5 times in the head before he'll finally die. And that's after his shields go down, too. Like, you know, that's 5 shots out of his actual health bar. Greetings, Doctor. Oh, I have to talk to Garrus first.
Timing, Shepard. Gave me a clear shot at that bastard.
So,
You took him down clean.
biotics are kind of like psychic powers, right?
You heard.
Basically, yeah. Biotics is the Mass Effect word for psychic powers.
So psychic powers, that's kind of like an illusionist. And an illusionist is a beguiler. So, do you want to talk about Irena's guide to intrigue and illusion? That was a reach, but we got there.
Kickstarter is probably going to be over by the time this episode goes live. Problem is, we are a little over a week ahead of schedule by now, and...
Tell us what happened.
But people might want to pick it up after it's come out, so...
That's fair. Like, they
and I did put so much effort into getting us to the topic. Like, that was draining.
She asked me about the Shadow Broker.
That was like a 6-step segue. But yeah.
He's an agent for the Shadow
So, a bit ago, I ran Natalia's Guide to Necromancy, just to add some fun new necromantic tricks to D&D 5th edition.
Stupid even for him.
As with a lot of these kinds of projects, I start with necromancy because that's the part that I just want to exist for the sake of it. And then I realize the potential. So yeah, Irena's is the sequel in what I am hoping will be a 12-book series released across 12 crowdfund projects over the course of 12 months. Kickstarter has been making scary noises about how they don't want to let me run projects so fast, but worst case scenario, I can switch over to Indiegogo and see how that goes. But yes, so Irena's Guide in particular has a whole bunch of rules for expansion of the social pillar of 5e. It's got rules for like hosting or attending a party in order to worm out secrets, make friends, worm your way in to cliques and coteries, or maybe just get everyone distracted so that you can sneak off into the back rooms and steal stuff.
I want to be able to use the party rule set at some point. Ferrum's not the party type is the problem.
Yeah, we saw him in the bar.
I mean, I could see him like serving drinks at a party, but
yeah,
definitely would be taking the lead.
Ferrum will get roped into being a waiter at pretty much any party he goes to.
What's he doing there?
Fist accused him of making threats. We brought Rex in for a little talk. If you hurry, you can catch him at the academy before he leaves.
But yeah,
I've always wanted
some new illusion rules, some new. Oh, thank God! I don't know which of our boring humans we're getting rid of first. I'm going to get rid of Ashley. Hang on. There we go. Because she doesn't even have psychic powers. At least Caden has psychic powers. It's fine. We should have Rex in just a moment, at which point we can get rid of both the boring humans.
Now, I've always wanted to have a bunch of eyes, like tons of eyeballs. Like, does Irena's give me any options for that?
Oh, it does indeed. I am completely forgotten where CSEC is, but I don't think it's here. I have no idea where I'm going. But yes, in addition to rules for the social pillar, I also stuck a bunch of stuff to do with aberrations in there on the grounds that... oh, good. CSEC Academy is this way. Basically just on the grounds that they don't fit in any of the other books that I have planned, and nor is there any monster type associated with Irena's. And I like to have a monster type associated with each book so that each book can have new action-oriented bosses with cinematic actions that all... They have a set of special cinematic actions, more or less unique to them, that make each boss fight, you know, a real climactic encounter. I've also usually got a couple of new monster stats, but nothing extremely special there. Just things in the setting that I'm sort of slowly fleshing out that need to be filled in. And the setting is not a focus, like it's all generic stuff that can be used in any setting, but then there is also a setting there that I use. You know, I have a specific setting that I use as an example that has to be my own IP so that I can't get sued for it. So that does happen. But where I'm going with all this is that it's the Aberration book, which means you can play as a Watcher in case you just want so many eyes. A minimum of 5 eyes, and potentially as many as 13. Watchers are little jellyfish-shaped things that float through the air, have one big eye on their main body, and then all their tendrils but 2 have little eyes on the end, and those eyes can just shoot beams of paralysis, or shoot lightning bolts, or shoot rays of disintegration. It uses the system for... Gonna have to just check my quest log every 10 seconds, aren't I? Oh well. Okay, so it just tells me that yes, it is indeed at C-Sec Academy. That's fine, but where is... Oh, is this C-Sec Academy? Is it right here? It is right here. So yeah, the Watchers use the transformation system that I developed for vampires and ghouls in Natalia's Guide to Necromancy, where there are 4 tiers, which are numbered 0 through 3, because the level of the tier is equal to how many magic item attunement slots you have to give up in order to attune to that level of the transformation. So a Watcher Quintus, which has only 5 eyes, is playable right from level 1. Its eye powers are relatively quite weak. A 13-eyed Watcher Ultima gives up all 3 of its magic item slots in order to have just a huge number of eye powers. Although, ultimately, you know, I don't think they're actually powerful. You know, they're not powerful enough to justify giving up like an ideal optimized magic item set, but they're powerful enough that, you know, they'll probably compete with whatever random magic items you happen to get. Although, of course, it's hard to know that for sure on account of, you know, who knows what magic items you'll get.
I don't take orders from you.
This is your only warning, Rex.
You should warn Fist. I will kill him.
You
I'm
want
just
me
gonna...
to arrest you?
I want you to try.
Go on.
That's a pretty
It's
good
weird
line,
how we get-
and it's a great delivery.
Do I know you, human?
It's weird how we get pretty much everybody in the party except Liara in this one early burst.
Yeah, it is really weird. Like, they just come at us constantly.
My name's Shepard. I'm going after.
And then Liara, who you can potentially like get towards the end of the game, and like, if you end up going to the planet she's on last.
Yeah. She's actually, like, nearly insane when you get to her if you go to her planet last. It's kind of funny. Probably going to go there first just to complete the party. I'm either going there first or I'm going there as late as possible just so that we get the dialogue where she thinks you're a hallucination because she's been there for weeks.
Does this mean you're part of my team, Rex?
Let's go. I hate to keep Fist waiting.
Alright. Got rid of the lame humans.
I assume once we get Tally, we're just going to have just her on the party, right?
And Garrison Rex are also pretty cool.
Yeah, but Tally.
We don't have enough room on the party for all the cool party members. We can, however, flush half of them out of the airlock, and I wouldn't even notice. I guess that's not true. If we flush both Kaiden and Ashley out of the airlock, then presumably I'll have to blow up someone else at the end. So,
Now, when we do have to blow somebody up, who are you going to pick? Like, Ashley or Kaiden?
I mean, I was just thinking, like, can I do both?
Ashley is a space racist, so...
Yeah, I mean, you know, she definitely wins by default, but, like... Kaiden's also boring, so I ask, can we do both?
Well, he's technically space boring.
This one's taking a while.
Now, think about, like, illusions and enchantment magic, and D&D is, like, it can be really hard to adjudicate the effect. Like, does Irenas have anything to help with that?
From the way you're laying these up, I almost think you've read my ad copy.
I don't read anything you produce. You know that, Cam.
But yes, for both illusions and enchantment, with illusions, there's the problem that... Oh my god, why did I do that? This is just taking me back to CSEC. For somehow I got this in my head that this was a taxi.
You do that a lot. Like, you kept getting into elevators when we were in Arkansas, and like talking to them like it was a taxi cab. I'm like, Cam, it's an elevator.
Anyone who fights us is either stupid or on Saren's payroll. Killing the latter is business. Killing the former is a favor to the universe.
But adjudicating illusion and enchantment magic.
Yes. So with illusion magic, your problem is that so with illusions, the rules for illusions are pretty vague. This makes them really flexible, but unfortunately, you know the game, I think it was, I forget the name of it, the one where you could write something in and that thing would then pop out into the game and you could use it?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you know, you would write in Jetpack and immediately trivialize all platforming challenges. You would write in Cthulhu and immediately defeat all enemies. And that's sort of what it gravitates towards, is that, oh, well, I can write in anything, so you'll have a fun, creative time of experimentation for the first 30 minutes to an hour, and then you will have figured out, you know, the small handful of options that solve all problems. So with the illusion rules, the goal is to break out of that by it gives you limitations to illusions that you have to work around, while at the same time keeping them very flexible. You know, there's no set list of illusions, but illusions are all made of a substance called figment that comes from the plane of shadow. And, hang on, I just realized I'm again going to the wrong... Here we go. And figment has certain properties to it that make it both, you know, there are certain things, there are ways to test for an illusion.
Looks like it's shut down.
Fist knows we're coming.
Take cover.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this without just doing the entirety of... I keep hitting the R button to reload. This doesn't have reloads. What am I doing? But yeah, like, you know, I don't want to just relay the entire contents of that article, like, right now, but it's basically, yeah, it is a means of... Oh, come on, Garrus. Uh-oh. But yeah, it because it has limitations, it requires creativity to be used effectively. And it's also, you know, sort of written to make sense with the progression of illusion spells like Mirror Image or Invisibility, which have more specific effects. It sort of creates a sort of, you know, unified theory of illusion magic that kind of explains how all this stuff works. Try to do something similar with that with Necromancy, but I was never able to make it any good, at all interesting. You are a warehouse worker. You might want to... You guys should unionize or something. Like, I feel like you are not getting paid the amount you deserve for the job you're being asked to do. Most warehouse workers do not have fighting law enforcement as part of their job. What do you mean enemies everywhere? We're on one side of you.
Where's the Quarian?
She's not here. I don't know where she is. That's the truth.
He's no use to you now. Let me kill him.
Wait. I don't know where the Quarian is, but I know where you can find her. The Quarian isn't here. Said she'd only deal with the Shadow
And with
Broker.
enchantment, there is also, I mean, with enchantment, you know, dominate person is straightforward. You just you now control the person. But with charm person and persuasion, how do those work? You know, you don't want to say that, oh, what you're asking is unreasonable, therefore all persuasion checks fail. Fuck you. You also don't want, though, to have your NPC's personalities totally rewrite themselves, so that anytime the PCs ask them to do anything and roll high enough on their persuasion check, or just cast charm person on them, which, you know, gives you advantage on the persuasion check anyway, you know, they'll just go along with anything, no matter how outlandish. The thing that I like to refer to this is the evangelical Harry Potter fanfiction problem, where, you know, the evangelical protagonist tells Harry about Jesus, who has apparently never heard of this before, and immediately forswears magic.
Give me the location now.
So,
Here on the wards, the back alley by the market. She's supposed to
the solution to that is identity and motivation. Identity is how someone views themselves, and motivation is what they...
The Shadow Broker paid me to kill him. I don't leave jobs half done.
That's
A lot
fair.
of people died because of him. He had it coming. Now let's move. We have to save that Quarian.
But yeah, a motivation is what they actually want, and they don't have, you know, motivations can be and often are contradictory to each other in certain situations. So, motivations basically give you options that you can push someone towards using persuasion. And you can use insight to find out what someone's motivations are, and then you can use persuasion to convince them to follow one of those motivations over another. This way, your persuasive characters are figuring out what people want and convincing them to take a, you know, take a bribe, or convincing them that helping you is the right thing to do, or whatever it may be, rather than simply saying, you know, look at my winning smile, now you are my slave. Okay, this is really bad cover. It's bugging out like hell. And so yeah, that's some illusion and enchantment stuff that's in there. Also got some subclasses for stuff to do with illusion and enchantment, specifically a sorcerer subclass and a bard subclass. Sorcerer subclass is the Beguiler. Your ancestor was like a succubus or a fae or something, and so now you are supernaturally persuasive. The bard is the Mesmer. They get access to some new metamagic tricks,
Where's Fist?
including the brand new metamagic that ships with the book, which is all about trolling enemy casters. Lets you do stuff like take control of other people's spells and blow them up, or cause healing spells to instead harm their targets. So, like, it's totally in it totally makes sense in setting, but I like how the Citadel Keeper just, like, hangs out while we're having a firefight around him.
Were you hurt in the fight?
I know how to look after myself. Not that I don't appreciate the help. Who are you?
My name's Shepard.
I'm your new wife.
Saren's a traitor.
Then I have a chance to repay you for saving my life. But not here. We need to go somewhere safe.
We could take her to the human embassy. Your ambassador will want to see
No, What Is She with Tally is the face reveal in Mass Effect 3 was very big letdown.
Firefights in the wards and all-out assault on Korra's den. Do you know how many?
Which is like a Photoshop picture of a human face.
What are you up to, Shepard?
Yeah.
Like,
This Quarian can help us bring down Saren. I would have told you that if you hadn't jumped down my throat.
I apologize, Commander.
Should have been weirder. But since you already have the Asari who were already pushing it with the excessively humanoid.
It also, I mean, I think it would have been better off just as a mystery. Let people imagine whatever they want under there.
I was on my pilgrimage, my rite of passage into adulthood.
Wait, so you're a minor? Fuck.
Tell us what you found.
During my travels, I began hearing reports of Geth. Since they drove my people into
I mean, I joke, but there is a question. How old is Tali that she is on her pilgrimage now?
I was curious.
I mean,
I tracked a patrol of Geth to an uncharted world.
do they say?
Yeah, it doesn't. And I mean, you know, she's a space alien, so. Apparently, by the time you get into the second game, she is old enough to be romanceable. I assume BioWare is not having, like, a romanceable 16-year-old.
What did you find out?
Most of the core was wiped clean, but I salvaged something from its audio banks.
Eden Prime was a major victory. The beacon has brought us one step closer to finding the conduit.
That's Saren's voice. This proves he was involved in the attack.
Saren won't get out of this one.
Wait, there's more. Saren wasn't working alone.
This is kind of an adorably naive idea that having a recording of someone's voice is like decisive evidence. As though this couldn't be fabricated.
Yeah, like even in like 2008 when this game came, or like 2005, okay, it was pretty clear that we were headed to the point where like recordings were getting easier and easier to fabricate. Like, you work for a video game company, of course you should know that.
Right?
According to the Memory Core, the Reapers were a hyper-advanced machine race that existed 50,000 years ago. The Reapers hunted the Protheans to total extinction, and then they vanished. At least, that's what the Geth believe.
Now, are there any aliens in Irena's Guide?
There are. Irena's Guide briefly deals with, actually possibly more than briefly, as of the writing, we're like 2/3 of the way to the $2,000 stretch goal, which is going to elaborate on this a little bit, and, you know, we're only like a third-ish of the way through the actual campaign, so probably there will indeed be aliens in Irena's Guide. There's already some aliens. There are the Greys, who are, they have no mouth, they communicate purely through psionics, and they have, yeah, they're vaguely Jedi or Sith-esque, basically, because now, out in the Astral Sea, there's some Spelljammer shit going on. I don't elaborate on it a whole lot, but at that stretch goal, I'll be getting deeper into it with the Astral Court, which is a court
They have no mouth and they must scream.
Sorry, say that again?
They have no mouth and they must scream.
I mean, some of them do. I'm sure.
This is a lot to handle.
But,
They might just ignore everything we tell
yeah,
them.
they communicate purely telepathically.
Those audio files prove Saren's a traitor.
You know, the idea of haphazardly combining the sci-fi stuff with fantasy might sound kind of hokey and dumb, but, you know, rest assured that I have actually worked stuff in. It's, you know, they live in the Astral Sea, and they've got Spelljammer-style sailing ships that take them through the void.
There's been dumber stuff in D&D.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, it's not like you have to use it, obviously. It's a fairly small part of the book.
Take a few minutes to collect yourself, then meet us in the tower.
Alright, now things are hard. But I am already heavily loaded up on combat power, so leaning into as much biotics and tech as I can get without using Kaidan, fuck Kaidan, is the way to go. Strictly speaking, Tali and Liara would probably be, you know, the ideal balance for me, just because I'm bringing the guns. But
oh, then we're a girl squad.
This is true. But, I mean, we do have to have Liara in the party then. And I mean, I feel like the best thing you can say about Liara is that she is the least boring character. At least she's not just the human.
Commander Shepard, my name is Samesh Patil. Forgive the intrusion, but I have nowhere else to turn.
It's no trouble. What can I do?
Well, is there anything else you want to say about Irena's?
She was in the 212 on Eden. I've requested that my wife's body be returned to me for cremation.
Nothing.
Is there any mummy content?
There is not. In fact, there's a specific note in there about how mummies do not, cannot, and should not exist anywhere in this setting or any other setting.
Why?
Why did they refuse your request? There's got to be some reason.
I mean, I feel like the obvious deficiencies of mummy content is obvious. I said that twice, even.
There's no reason for your wife's body to be held like this. Just wait here.
The man in charge of my case is Mr. Bosco. When I last saw him, he was in the expensive...
Was there anything else you want to say about Irena as this horrible revelation about mummy content?
I want to give my wife a proper funeral and the respect she deserves.
I don't think there's anything else like that I haven't already at least briefly gone over. I mean, if you're into collecting stuff, there's a whole collector's deal. I am planning to have created an absolute maximum of 100 signed and symboled books in the series. Each book in the series is associated with a specific aspect that has a specific symbol, so Irena's is the aspect of chaos. And so, you know, there's a whole thing where I am going to... you can, for extra, get a signed copy that also has a little symbol doodled on it next to the signature, and then also a Roman numeral indicating which of 1 through 100 it is. I'm going to be perfectly honest, I have no idea why people want this stuff, but they do, and I'm happy to oblige, so now it's a thing. Like, I don't have any idea how to sell that, because I wouldn't want it myself, I wouldn't care, but... other people do want it. And, you know, it's not like it's a huge hassle to sign some stuff, so... I don't want to go to the Presidium, I want to... go talk to the Council. Get in their super secret space club. Here we go, I got turned around at some point.
Come on. Udine is presenting the Quarians' evidence to the Council.
How?
Eden Prime was a major victory. The beacon has brought us one step closer to finding the conduit.
And one step closer to the return of the Reapers.
You wanted proof? There it is.
This evidence is irrefutable, Ambassador. Saren will be stripped of his
irrefutable
status, and all efforts will be made to bring him in to answer for his crimes.
I recognize the other
It's
voice.
doubly hilarious how,
Matriarch Venezia.
Who is she?
Matriarch
how certain they are
who have entered the
that
final
there's
stage
no
of
way
time.
this evidence could have been fabricated.
Revered for their wisdom and experience. They serve as guides and mentors to my people. Matriarch Venezia is a powerful bionic, and she had many followers. She will make a formidable ally for Saren.
I'm more interested in the Reapers. What do you know about them?
Only what was extracted from the Geth's memory. The Reapers were an ancient race of machines that wiped out the Protheans. Then they vanished.
The Geth believe the Reapers are gods, and Saren is the prophet for their return.
We think the conduit is the key to bringing them back. Saren's searching for it. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Do we even know what this conduit is?
Saren thinks it can bring back the Reapers. That's bad enough.
There's a number of these where it's very obviously, like, the three options given by the dialogue wheel seem different, but when you give a response, you can kind of tell that this was designed to go with any of them, and actually really more leans into one of them in particular.
Yeah.
It feels like they felt like anytime your character, anytime Shepard said anything of substance, there should be a dialogue option, even if the conversation can really only go one way.
Yeah.
But I am fine with just having 2-3 minutes of pure dialogue if you have no genuine choices for me to make.
Obviously just a myth, Commander. A convenient lie to cover Saren's true purpose. A legend he is using to bend the Geth to his will.
50,000 years ago, the Reapers wiped out all galactic civilizations.
This has nothing to do with what I picked. I said that I saw one, which I did.
On the run for his life. He no longer has the rights or resources of a Spectre. The Council has stripped him of his position.
That is not good enough. You know he's hiding somewhere in the Traverse. Send your fleet in!
A fleet cannot track down one man.
And no, I feel like a fleet is comprised of several men who could,
Any more of our colonies.
Or it could trigger a war with the Terminus systems. We won't be dragged into a galactic confrontation over a few dozen human colonies.
I can take Saren down.
The commander's right. There is a way to stop Saren that doesn't require fleets or armies.
No, it's too soon. Humanity is not ready for the responsibilities that come with joining the Spectres.
You don't have to send a fleet into the Traverse, and the Ambassador gets his human Spectre. Everybody's happy.
Feels like a weird way to resolve that. Talking about how the commander gets, or the ambassador gets his human Spectre as
Commander Shepard.
Like that's the compromise that you're making here. What you really should be drawing attention to is that, you don't have to send a fleet into the Traverse, but also someone will protect our colonies from this devastation.
Yeah.
Draw attention to the reasonable need for a human Spectre rather than, trying to act as though you can otherwise force the Council to move a fleet around or something.
Spectres are not trained, but chosen. Individuals forged in the fire of service and battle. Those whose actions elevate them above the rank and file.
Spectres are an ideal, symbol, the embodiment of courage, determination, and self-reliance. They are the right hand of the Council.
You say instruments of your will, but I can actually tell you to fuck off whenever I want, as we shall see.
Both our first and last line of defense.
This is all just a bunch of lies.
It's like in the second one, you can just hang up on them constantly.
Hey, you can do that in this one too. I mean, in the second one, you become a terrorist for some reason, and no one seems to mind.
I'll find him.
This meeting of the Council is adjourned.
Oh, so this one you can hang up on the constantly, because the first one you're working for Cerebus, which is the weird human one.
You're going to need a ship, a crew, supplies.
You'll get access to special equipment and training.
Also, the elusive man was like the most obvious going to be a villain thing of all time. Like, you couldn't be more sinister if he tried. Like, oh no, this guy can't be trusted.
You're required to blunder right into it anyway.